Jai Swaminarayan. Today we are reading from Sārangpur 17 of the Vachanāmrut. This passage is titled Differences Among Muktas, the branch of the Tamarind tree. Muktas means liberated beings. On the evening of Bhadrava Sudhi the 6th, Samvat 1877, or the 13th of September 1820, Sriji Maharaj was sitting facing north on a large decorated cot on the veranda outside the rooms of Jiva Khachar's Darbar in Sārangpur. He was dressed entirely in white clothes. At that time, an assembly of munis, scholars, as well as devotees from various places had gathered before him. Thereupon, Sriji Maharaj said, "As the vision of a person who worships God becomes increasingly subtle, they realize the unlimited nature of God, and they increasingly realize the glory of God. When that devotee identifies themselves with the body, they see God as the witness of their waking, dream, and deep sleep states. Later, when they realize themselves as transcending the waking, dream, and deep sleep states, they realize God as transcending them too. Then, as their vision becomes increasingly subtle, they realize God as a being far beyond themselves and understands the glory of God even more. Then, as their vritti, their thought force or concentration attaches itself more and more to God with love, their upasana, their reverence or worship of God becomes even more firmly established. For example, ants, birds, human, cattle, horses, elephants, large crocodiles, and fish all drink from the ocean and become healthy. Of course, indirectly, don't want to drink salt water. Yet, the ocean's level is not even slightly reduced. Thus, the greater the capacity of the being, the more it realizes the vastness of the ocean. Here is another example. A mosquito, a sparrow, a kite, a hawk, and an old pakshi, and a garud all fly in the sky, yet to all of them the sky is limitless. However, the greater the strength of their wings, the more they realize the vastness of the sky and their own relative inferiority. Similarly, a devotee whose upasana, like that of Marachi and the other of the Prajapatis, can be compared to the mosquito. A devotee whose upasana is higher, like that of Devas, such as Brahma, the creator, can be compared to the sparrow. A devotee whose upasana is higher still, like that of the Devas, such as Virat Purush, can be compared to a kite. A devotee whose upasana is higher still, like that of Pradhan Purush, can be compared to a hawk. A devotee whose upasana is still higher, like that of Prakriti Purush, can be compared to an Anupakshi. A devotee whose upasana is even higher, like that of an Akshar Mukta in Akshardham, the abode of God, is like Garud. As the powers of these devotees increase, they realize the glory of God more and more. Moreover, as their own powers increase, their master-servant relationship with God is also consolidated. Also, when the person engaged in worship identified themselves with the jiva, the individual, the jiva possessed the luminosity of a firefly. As they continued worshiping God, barriers were gradually overcome, and they became increasingly luminous, first like an oil lamp, then like a torch, then like the flames of a fire, then like the flames of a forest fire, then like lightning, then like the moon, then like the sun, then like the fire of dissolution, and finally they became as radiant as the transcendental light. And here Transcendental light refers to the light of an akshar mukta. In this manner, the luminosity, powers, and bliss of such a devotee constantly increase. In the example, the succession from firefly to transcendental light refers to the differences among the level of the muktas, the liberated beings. As one reaches a higher spiritual state, God's glory is realized to a greater extent, and one attains a higher mukta level. So saying, Sriji Maharaj bid Jai Sachitananda. Victory to existence, consciousness, bliss to everyone, and stood up. Then, holding a branch of the Tamarind tree, he stood facing east and said, "From here, the full moon appears like a small plate, but as one approaches it, it appears to get increasingly larger. Then, when one comes extremely close to it, it becomes so vast that one is unable to see its limits. Similarly, as obstacles in the form of Maya, material existence, are overcome, and one increasingly attains the proximity of God, one realizes the unlimited glory of God, and one's senses of servitude towards Him is increasingly strengthened." Thus we get to the end of Sārangpur 17. So thank you for listening. Very interesting that even, what is it, about 200 years ago now, even then, Bhagwan Swaminarayan knew that the moon was much larger than it seems. All right. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that passage. Jai Sachitananda.